Did AI just take my job? No. But is it about to take yours? Let's find out. There are so many questions on whether AI and the bots will be taking over the labor force and whether any of us will have jobs in the next 5 years or not. And the sentiment is split across the generations, where on one hand, you have professionals who say that they've gotten an hour back into their day and they've been able to advance their skills as a result of AI and automation. And then, of course, on the other hand, you have people who've lost their jobs as a direct result of this new innovation. Both of them are valid arguments. So, we're going to dive deeper into where mentally we can land within this framework. I saw this video from Mark Cuban a few months ago that offers a sobering but also a refreshing perspective that I want to build on. So, let's check that out and I'll give additional insight afterwards.
The amount of change we're going to see over the next 5 years, 10 years, will dwarf everything that's happened over the last 30. We went from automating pen and paper, right, with spreadsheets, to connecting PCs into local area networks to,
right. Connecting them,
connecting people
to each
locally,
other.
Yeah, locally, right, to connecting networks to get the internet, to getting the network effect of communicating people globally. But now we're introducing artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, et cetera. So, and what that enables is the automation of automation, right? And so the people who were writing software, particularly at the lower end, unless you're doing
right.
these advanced things, they're gone. Either software works for you or you work for software, and once the software takes over, you're gone. Right? So unless you understand that, you don't understand that the nature of work is changing, the nature of employment is going to change, and from a business, from a stock perspective. If you're in the Fortune 500, if you're an S&P 500 company, if you're in the Dow 30, right? If you're one of the bigger companies, you already know this. And in talking to a lot of these big companies, they know their workforces, and given the supply and demand of stocks, the supply is shrinking,
right.
and the demand is going up just as the economy grows. That's probably good news for stocks over the long term, but it's bad news for employment, and it's bad news for people who are disrupted. The difference is the time lag, right? The timeline. So what took 20 years before and then became 10 could be 5 or 3. And so when you start getting that massive amount of disruption in employment, what do? The whole nature of employment is going to change. There aren't manufacturing jobs coming back. There aren't more coal mining jobs coming back. No matter what you do to the EPA, a lot of these jobs are going to be gone. Now, there's still physical things. If you do infrastructure, you can kind of, buy some time, right? Spend more, get temporary jobs to build roads, build bridges, which is all fine and good, right? I think you can get a return on much of those things. But you're going to have to recognize that there are going to be more people out of work. So,
through this innovation.
Yeah.
So essentially what you make the case for is education and job training for grown-ups.
No. I think that won't matter, right? What are you going to go back and learn to do?
What it takes, right? I mean, whether it's finance, whether it's software programming.
Finance, that's the easiest thing. You just take the data and have it spit out whatever you need, right? I personally think there's going to be a greater demand in 10 years for liberal arts majors than there were for programming majors and maybe even engineering, because when the data is all being spit out for you, options are being spit out for you, you need a different perspective in order to have a different view of the data. And so having somebody who's more of a freer thinker, and because if automation is being automated, you just learn the tax rules. You just feed the automation the tax rules, and it does the rest for you.
So English majors of the world should celebrate?
I think English, philosophy, foreign language majors, maybe not now, they're going to starve for a while, but that's not even the real issue, right? The real issue is if 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million people have their jobs disrupted, and we see the direction everything is going and how quickly it's going. What are you going to do with them?
Whew! Never in my millennial life did I think I would hear a perspective that, no, we need philosophy now, we need English now. Everything was moving towards highly technical fields. And then ironically, a lot of these fields are the ones that are being threatened by AI. Yikes. Just know I'm not a fear mongerer. I don't want to promote that. I'm not into that. But I wanted to give you a different perspective and pick out what I think we need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to what is happening in your industry. Most people I meet, most professionals, most leaders are very singularly focused on their work and their tasks and not focused on what's influencing what you do every day. Automation can completely replace redundant tasks or make processes more efficient, more and do things more quickly than a human can. So like I said, tech, software engineers, customer service. If you notice, if you call into whoever, your bank, well, we ain't using cable no more, right? But any service or product you have, you are now going to get a human that picks up the phone because automation helps to cut down on expenses, on call times. Although it's annoying as all heck, we are missing human contact and interaction. But that could be done more quickly and efficiently. It will be. Court reporters, mathematicians, web designers are some examples of some roles that are at risk. This is where branding is super important. What is it that you offer that not just other people can't? So we are competing a little bit more now with AI. It's your competition. What can you do? What can you offer specifically that AI might miss or what AI can't do? Find a gap. I also want you to be cognizant that AI does not replace perspective, experience, strategy, and care. Essentially, soft skills. These are the things that I'm constantly working with my community, with leaders on, teaching them, because no matter how functionally smart you are or how much AI is innovating, it can't replace those things. It cannot replace management style, multi-generational agility, overcoming feedbacks, triggers, your personal brand. I mean, I don't want my therapist, my brand strategist, my electrician, my CEO, my pastor, my professor, or actors in a play that I'm going to. I don't want them to be robots. We are human beings made for connection with each other, and AI will never replace our most innate human need to connect and to process information that's coming from words being spoken from another human being. If nothing else, yeah, AI is a disruption. We have to adapt much faster, but we also have much more access to information than we ever have before, which can be a great thing or an evil thing, depending on how you use this information. While it's true that some jobs are becoming obsolete, they may disappear, there are many more jobs that are being created that require the skill of AI that we can learn and utilize. Georgetown's Harry Holzer, who is also a former chief economist for the US Department of Labor, gave an excellent example of this that I'm going to share with you. So we're going to back it up a little bit, thinking about the invention of the Model T car, right? Horse and buggy drivers were no longer needed. They were essentially out of a job, but look at how many jobs were created as a result generationally for years, almost a century after the fact. The assembly line, lots of things were created with this new innovation. This does not excuse the fact that we do need to adopt a digitally focused mindset when we're planning, strategizing, and communicating at work. I just want to insert this different view of how to look at it. So, two things can be true at once. Some jobs are disappearing, but there are a lot more jobs being created. Let me leave you with this. With the emergence of AI in the workplace, the best thing that you can do as a professional is to sharpen your soft skills. Use AI to strengthen your expertise in your hard skills. This helps to create your brand and make you an invaluable resource. So I would dedicate yourself to being a future ready professional where you're more tech savvy, where you're adaptable and proactive in using AI. We can't avoid it. It's here. It's coming. But just like the emergence of the millennials in the workforce, where whether you like us or not, we take up the majority of professionals at work. We can't avoid it. We've got to make room. So I encourage you to look at AI in the same way. How can you use it to better your life, to better yourself? You don't have to be consumed by it, and it doesn't have to be your primary job, but I do think it's a tool and a resource to make you even greater than you could ever imagine or see for yourself. The best thing you can do as an employer, so I'm switching gears a bit, is to prioritize professional development and advancement opportunities. Again, if you want your employees to be successful, you have got to create opportunities for them to sharpen, for them to keep up with the trend, because that affects the trajectory of your business. Your employees, if I can be honest, cannot afford to invest their time and skills in an organization where there's no upskilling opportunities, where there's no opportunity for them to grow. Otherwise, they'll be left behind in the labor market because of you. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. And let me know in the comments how you plan to leverage AI as a professional for upskilling, and how you plan to create opportunities for your employees as an employer. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video.